English for vocational purposes 2. Week 23, Day 4, Unit 4, Presentation 4. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to review and consolidate vocabulary relevant to safety at work. You'll be able to use frequency adverbs properly, and you will be able to listen to speeches about safety signs and answer multiple choice questions. We always do, we start our lesson with a safety talk. Safety talk of this week is about how to put on and remove a face mask. We stopped at some guidelines that you need to follow when you put on a mask. You have to clean your hands with soap and water or hand sanitizer before touching the mask. You have to remove a mask from the box and make sure there are no obvious tears or holes in either side of the mask. You have to determine which side of the mask is the top. The side of the mask that has a stiff, bendable edge is the top and is meant to mold to the shape of your nose. Determine which side of the mask is the front. The colored side of the mask is usually the front and should face away from you, while the white side touches your face. So you have to take care that you have to wash your hand before you touch the mask before putting it on. If you wash it with soap and water, you have to spend about 1 minute washing it. Washing or rubbing it with a alcohol-based sanitizer takes about 30 seconds only. You have to make sure that you know how to place the face mask on your face. The solid part is always the top part, and the colored side of the face mask, it should be outside, which is usually blue. The white one is the one confronting your face or touching your face. You start our lesson with vocabulary review. You have some sentences here and need to complete the words to complete the meaning of the sentence. The company wants to increase the pro of the workers. It pays them overtime. What? The productivity. Take care. Some people said product of the workers. Now we say productivity. This is the noun. Verbal communication includes speaking to other people, and verbal communication is communication that you get in touch with other people, whether in writing or in speaking. It has two sides. He is always in space in class. He uses his phone, so he's inattentive. Very good. This time we use inattentive, not inattention, because we need an adjective here. The mechanic had a injury because he didn't use his protective gloves. A serious injury. Very good. Serious injury. Number 5, we cannot take this road because of the barriers. Great, barriers. Wearing a helmet is mandatory in this workshop. Important, necessary. Okay. Let's look at this last sentence. Wearing a helmet is mandatory in this workshop. Where can you see this information? Who teaches you this? We discuss it together, okay, but who teaches you this? Can you see it in a geography lesson, for example? An English lesson, maybe is a maths lesson, or a excellent safety message, safety lesson, a safety class. All right, is safety important? Why? Yeah, it's important. Some people here said important. Why? Oh, yes, I hear someone saying safety comes first or safety first. Yeah, that's right. We are working for improving our life, not to be in danger. So we have to take care of safety first. Safety comes before anything else. And safety sometimes improves productivity. Okay. Now, this is what we are going to do. And this is our lesson today. A safety officer is communicating with the workers. Tell me, how can a safety officer communicate with the workers? Oh, yes, some people said talk to them. Send them emails. That's right, very good. When you have another person that you are contacting or communicating, this is called verbal communication. Verbal communication can be by speaking or writing. Other things like, for example, notices or things that you see on the wall, these are called non-verbal. They are not directed from one person to another person. And this is what we are going to learn during this lesson. We're going to listen to a safety officer communicating some workers, and we are going to learn new items of vocabulary and practice some multiple choice questions. Let's look at the pictures here. Memo. You see, this is a memo. It's like sticking a piece of paper on a wall or a computer to tell someone to do something. If you want your friend who's living with you in the same flat, for example, to buy some cheese, you get up early, you leave early, so you leave a memo on the fridge. Please buy some cheese. So this is a memo, a short message that is stuck on place. What's this? They are talking to each other. Are they online? Oh, no. Oh, they are. Yes, very good. Remember this? We said face-to-face, like the face-to-face classes that we have now. So this is called face-to-face face-to-face conversation. This is a face-to-face conversation. A safety officer can talk to any worker in a face-to-face conversation, asking him to do something. Can you see here in this picture? Okay, emails, yes, letters. So you can send letters or emails to people who are in your team, telling them to take care of their safety. And also here, what's this? What can you see here? You can see some people, yes. What are they doing? They are talking to each other. Yeah, they are having face-to-face conversations, but what do you call this? What do you call this? It's a meeting, yes. Meetings and presentations are also other ways of contacting people or communicating them if you are telling them some safety guidelines or instructions. Discussion. Discussion is different from a meeting. A meeting, someone is talking, some people are listening. Discussion, no, someone is saying something and someone says, no, I don't like this idea. This is the meaning of the word discussion. A discussion has two parts who sometimes agree or disagree. So group discussions, group because there are a lot of people here. And yeah, excellent. If you send an email about an incident or something, yeah, you have to write a report. Safety officers at NCTC who are being trained, we are being trained on how to write safety reports. You write the incident, the people who were involved in it, the witnesses, and some advice about what happened. This is called the safety report, and you can send it by email, print it, or give it to the person. This is another way of verbal communication, reports, and also this. These are called signs. Very good. How many types of signs can you see here? You have 3 rows. Yes, this is one type. This is one type. This is one type. Are they similar? No, they are different. How are they different? The color, yes. Some of them are yellow and Black and yellow, yes. Some of them are red and white, yeah. Some of them are blue and white. Great. What about the shape? This is okay. We say circle, right? But when you describe the shape, you say circular. Circular. So this sign is circular. This one is circular too. What about this one? Again, triangle is the noun, but the adjective is triangular. Triangular. A triangular sign is different from a circular sign. Every color gives a meaning. Okay, these signs tell us about what we have to do to be safe. So you have to put a helmet on, you have to put some hearing protection, eye protection, footwear or safety shoes. So if you want to be safe, you have to use these PPEs or personal protective equipment. This is called mandatory. Mandatory signs are signs that tell us about what we need to do or what you need to be safe. What about this? You see this diagonal line means you are not allowed to. Very good. So you are not allowed to smoke here. You're not allowed to drink here. You're not allowed to enter this place. There is something blocking the way, for instance. So these are things that are dangerous. Yeah, they are dangerous, but you are not allowed to. You are prohibited. That's why they are called prohibition signs. Prohibition signs. The third type of signs here, they are signs that tell you to take care, to be careful, to be careful. All right. Maybe there is a fire, electrical hazard. Some people are lifting something which is not okay. Slippery surfaces. So these are called warning signs, mandatory signs, prohibition signs, warning signs. Now, mandatory signs are signs that tell you about things you need to do to be safe. Okay, I think we explained this. They are circular and they are white and blue or blue and white. Prohibition signs are signs that tell you about things that you cannot or must not do. And how do they look? They are circular or diagonal with a diagonal line, and they are white and red. Okay. Then we have warning signs, which are about things that you need to take care of. Okay, they are triangular and uh, black and yellow in color. Now we start the real listening. You're going to listen to a safety officer, and you have to answer some questions. You need to read the questions first before you start the listening. So in this listening, the question is, why did John's team not go to the safety meeting at 10 a.m. today? So we had a meeting at 10 a.m., but they didn't go to the meeting. And the question is, why? Why didn't they go to the meeting? Is it because they didn't understand the message because they were too busy? They didn't understand the message because they were in a noisy workshop? They didn't understand the message because they don't speak English? So the last part is different here. Let's listen and see.
4.1.
Hello, Russell speaking.
Hello Russell. There was a safety meeting for your team this morning at 10 a.m. One of our safety officers phoned you yesterday about the safety meeting, right? So, could you tell me why your team didn't come to the meeting?
Oh really? That meeting was today at 10 a.m.? Sorry. The machines are very noisy in our workshop. I thought he said that the meeting was at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
So they didn't understand because, excellent, great, because they were in a noisy workshop. The next question, is listening about warning signs and about communications at work about safety. The communications that can be verbal or non-verbal. They can be in memos, as we saw, or face-to-face conversations, emails, letters, spoken and written, or meetings, reports, group discussions. We have a passage here. We have to listen, and after that, complete the passage according to what you hear in this listening. Let's start.
4.2. Verbal communication can be both spoken and written communication. Some examples of verbal communication are face-to-face conversations, meetings and group discussions. Some examples of written communication are memos, reports, emails and letters.
Okay, so verbal communication can be both spoken and written. Some examples of verbal communications are face-to-face conversations, meetings, and group discussions. Some examples of written communication are memos, emails, letters, reports. Let's move to the next activity. Some examples of non-verbal communication at work are: we can use hand signals and flags to let a crane driver know when it is. Okay, let's listen.
4.3. We can also use nonverbal communication at work. Some examples of nonverbal communication at work are lights, signals and flags. Lights and signals are very important in the workplace. For example, we can use hand signals and flags to let a crane driver know when it's safe to lift, lower and move heavy loads.
Okay, so is it clear? Some examples of nonverbal communication at work are signals and flags. They don't speak, they don't write something, they only tell a message. Okay, we can use hand signals and flags to let a crane driver know when it is safe to lift, lower, and move heavy load. Now, next exercise, warning signs are in shape and space in color. So this listening is about the shape and color of the different types of warning signs, mandatory signs, and about also prohibition signs. Let's listen and answer.
4.4. Another example of nonverbal communication at work are warning signs. Warning signs are triangular in shape and yellow and black in color. For example, these signs can warn workers of dangers such as flammable materials.
So warning signs are, what's the shape of warning signs? Triangular, as we said, yes, the only option is here, A, triangular, and yellow and black. Warning signs tell us of dangers such as flammable materials, materials that may cause fire. This is the meaning of flammable materials. The next activity is about prohibition signs. Again, it will be about the shape and color of the prohibition signs, about the use of prohibition colors. Let's listen.
4.5. Prohibition signs are circular in shape with a diagonal bar. They are red and white in color. Prohibition signs tell workers about things that they must not do at work. For example, you must not smoke in this area.
Okay. So the question is, prohibition signs are space in shape. So you are going to describe their shape. Remember, prohibition signs, they were what? Were they triangular or circular? Yeah, they were circular, but they have a diagonal bar. And they were red and white. So this is the correct option. Prohibition signs tells us we are workers in a place about things that they space at work must not do, must do, or can do. Of course, it's about things that you must not do. Next, mandatory signs are space in shape and spacing color. Mandatory signs tell workers about things that they. Remember that when you answer a listening activity or a reading activity, don't count on your knowledge. You have to listen or read before you choose the correct answer. Let's listen.
4.6. Mandatory signs are circular in shape and blue and white in color. Mandatory signs tell workers about things that they must do at work. For example, you must wear a hard hat in this area.
So, mandatory signs are circular or triangular. Yes, they are circular. So, blue and white. Mandatory signs tell workers about things that they mandatory, they must do, things that you have to do. Okay, adverbs of frequency. Remember them? Yes, always. Great. Sometimes, but before sometimes we have something. We have always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely or seldom, and never. Okay, these are the adverbs of frequency that we have to cover today. Always, 100%, usually is a little bit less, often, generally, sometimes, rarely, seldom, hardly ever, and never. Some examples here for everything, and hardly ever, see, is a little bit less than seldom. This is new. Seldom and rarely are the same. They are between sometimes and never. So these are the new things. Rarely, seldom, hardly ever. Usually use them to speak about things that happen very rarely, things that you do or happens to you every a lot of time. Now you need to write using adverbs of frequency. So let's say, let's take football as an example. Remember, I told you where to place the adverbs of frequency. This writing activity is for checking your ability to use adverbs of frequency in the correct place. So as for me, I never eat out. This is true about me. I never eat out. Where is the word never? It comes here between the subject and the verb. Remember to use the subject, adverb frequency, verb. This is the pattern. Okay, but sometimes also you can use the adverb of frequency after verb to be. I am never late to work. So when verb to be is the main verb in the sentence, you have to use never or the adverb of frequency after it, not before it. We'll give you the chance to write sentences, check them with your colleagues, and also you can check them with your teacher. Okay, very important for you to write, because writing is a skill that you need to be very good at. When you go to your jobs in your companies, you need to communicate with your managers in writing. So take care of writing practice. Thank you so much. That was everything for this lesson, and see you in coming lessons, inshallah. Thank you.